All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the world's greatest sports betting show. I'm your host, John Hyslop, joined always by my friend with the red hat and green hoodie, the great Matt Modi. What's up, dude?
What's up, Slop? Yeah, it's October. In this household, we call it Red October for a Phillies playoff run.
Okay.
So I'm feeling good.
Okay, nice. I'm feeling pretty good. I had a good day yesterday. I'll be honest with you. Even though we do have Major League Baseball today, I mean, there's 4 games. So, like, you would think bets, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's playoff baseball. And I'm a dinger guy and a strikeout guy, kind of, and a hits, runs, RBI guy. And that doesn't really mesh well with playoff baseball. So, it's kind of like the days off, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of sucks, don't get me wrong. But I feel like we could probably just talk about a little bit what happened last night, because there is stuff there. There's meat on that bone. And then maybe a little bit about the baseball games today. Like, is there a look that you're looking at? And then maybe some NBA. Like, what are we doing for that? That's coming up. So, like, is there strategies? Is there, you know what I'm saying? Like, sites we need to know about? Is there, what's what? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get into NBA. The first 2 or 3 games of the season for each team is probably where they're the softest, the books.
100%. Yeah, they don't, because they don't know what they're doing yet.
Very soft, but they are also very fast to catch on. So what can we do to kind of come out of the gate, I guess, hot? Because like I said, man, you want to hit hard early. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds great. Yeah, I think, you want to hit hard early. I totally agree.
I'm thinking about what do you think about my plan? I feel like that's a pretty good plan for a show, dude.
Sounds like a great plan. I mean, yeah, we got some NBA or MLB stuff. And yeah, I mean, NBA season, there's nothing like, I mean, I think that's my favorite season to bet because you've got games every night, but it's not as crazy as baseball. Like, not 162 games. It's like, we don't know what's going on night to night.
Yeah.
And with like injury news in the NBA, you can kind of find some value where the books are sleeping. So yeah, I'm ready to dive into the NBA.
All right. Before we do any of that, let's go talk last night. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I did on this show. All I do know is that I had a few like wild ones. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. So Huntley, obviously, no. The +5. I think it was +550 what I got, but I think it changed while we were on the show.
Yeah.
So he was bad. And that's the thing with those, though. Like I said, it's +550, it's 225. If, you know what I'm saying, if this guy is remotely like decent, like you could hit that, you know what I'm saying, with Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Probably a mistake to go with Hill as well. But like I said, I built the card. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I'm going to build the card out like very small, like with the bonus bets and the profit boost and all those like little $10 things. And then I'm going to put together a decent parlay to feed the streets. And then I'm going to hit something straight to cover that parlay. And bro, I did that. I executed my plan. It was pretty good. I think I made like $32 yesterday total, but it did not come from Huntley. It did not come from Hill. Jameson Williams, that was electric. That was reminiscent of that slant he caught in college. It just was like gone. You're like, oh shit, so that's how you roll. Like, all right, because he was gone. Like the second he caught that, I was like, yikes for that defender. You know what I mean? Like it was like you are. There is no angle that you can take, and if there's no one on that side, because you couldn't see that side of the screen yet, you're like, if there's no one over there, like this guy's gone. And there was, in fact, no one over there.
No one over there.
He was definitely gone. So that was cool. I love that he got a penalty for the celebration because he definitely deserved to celebrate, and he deserved a penalty for that celebration. So, I mean, I think it all worked out for everybody. Tony Pollard, 60+ from you. Tony Pollard, anytime touchdown. Now, did he score before that last one?
No. So I turned that game off. I was like, you know what? We got the 60 yards because I played them both straight for a half unit. So we got the 60 yards. I was like, all right, I'm green. That's all that matters. Turn that game off. My brain it was just totally removed from that game. And the next thing I know, someone texted me who doesn't know, like really, who's a fantasy guy, not a betting guy, was like, did any of you guys have Tony Pollard and did that touchdown matter? And I was like, wait a minute. What touchdown are you talking about? I have no idea.
We talking Tony Pollard touchdowns?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was the bet. Like, it's the best. It's like when you find $20 in your pocket, you're like, oh my God, I didn't account for that. It was
Dude,
the best
I
feeling
did
in the
that
world.
just the other day. You get $20 at bowling for having the high handicap game. So $20 per week. But I never get that because I don't really have a handicap. So like someone just bowls a decent game and their handicap takes them over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, you get $20 and Ratty gave me the $20 at bowling. I just put it in my pocket. I forgot I already had a couple beers. You know what I mean? So like, well, we're at bowling. You know what I'm saying? It's Thursday night football on. We're locked in. We're locked in. So yeah, I woke up and I didn't know about it, and I was putting my jeans in the laundry like 2 days later. $20, dude.
That was the Tony Pollard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was like getting a text from a friend who is not like didn't care or know what I was betting, asking me about it. Like, oh, did that Tony Pollard touchdown matter to you guys? Oh, it was a great feeling. And then, yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, I gave him out over 4.5 on the show. I told people that I laddered him all the way up to 8. I hope people tailed because he had exactly 8.
Yeah, he caught 8.
Yeah.
All right, so he was who I went to live. So what happened was, I think Detroit went down and scored, and that game was just pick the team that goes down and scores. He gets down for, you know what I mean? Because I think the other one's going to be able to hang. We definitely learned that the Seahawks, well, that wasn't on the show. The live stream yesterday, some guy was in there. Cool guy, don't get me wrong, but he was like, Williams ain't doing that against Seattle's whatever secondary. I'm just like, dude,
whoops.
They have not seen a real quarterback yet. Like they haven't. So I was pretty confident that was not going to be the last Detroit touchdown, but I was very confident that Seattle would be able to score. So I did a mistake though. Second time in a row, it did pay off, but I had in Jigba receiving yards. I went 50 plus for like plus 102, and then I had like the profit boost that they gave you.
Right.
So I got to knock it up, but I think the receptions, he's a receptions guy. Like he's like a Cooper Kupp type reception guy. You know what I mean? Where if you think he's going high in yards, you have to think he's going high in reception. Because, man, he was catching little. He was running 3 steps, turning around, catching the ball, like stuff like that. So it did hit. It almost did not. He had 51 yards receiving, and there was one play towards the end where Tyler Lockett was on 4th down. Did you see that play? What are you doing?
Yeah.
He ran and just like shoulder blocked the guy. You're like, dude, you're supposed to be running a route right now. This ball's not coming to you. You obviously know it. So why would you run square into the dude? Well, anyways, that was in Jigba's ball. And Jigba had 8 yards on that and did not get credit for it, obviously, because there was no play. But I was like, wow, that stinks. But yeah, so receptions was the way. So hats off to you for that. That was awesome. Yeah, it was a good day. I'm going to continue to work on my bankroll strategy because I really think I'm definitely onto something. Not that I reinvented the wheel by having a bankroll strategy. It's because I've literally been just fire away. Like just spray the board, let everything fall as it may. And it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but that will also lead to super bad Sundays. You know what I'm saying? You could have a really good one. Don't get me wrong. You can do really good or really bad. And it's like, I don't know that I'm into that just because, again, I'm an entertainment bettor, whereas I want to have fun watching this shit. And, man, it sucks going to the 4 o'clock knowing that no matter what happens, like, you're down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to come up with a strategy for Sunday night. Generally, after drinking a few beers and grilling and stuff like now, you're coming up with strategies to bet. Probably not the greatest idea. You know what I mean? Like that ship pretty much sailed the second you started drinking beers. So there is that, because then you can wake up Monday and have like just your Monday starts off already bad to begin with because the weekend's over. Now you're looking like, oh yeah, I forgot. I got stomped Sunday night too after getting stomped at 1. You know, like it's snowball. So having a bankroll strategy might be a good idea for everybody, and I'll take you through mine as the season goes. But, yeah, Major League Baseball today. So there's 4 games. I got to be honest with you.
4 games.
I do have a 30% boost at FanDuel. I haven't looked at DraftKings yet, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a boost in there. Only for $10 there, though. So screw you, DraftKings. FanDuel gives me 100. Just saying. You could up it a little bit. I don't know that I'm going to use it, though, because I went through and, dude, there's all pitchers that I avoid, basically. That's a little bit bored. So Severino, maybe not, but I wanted to do his strikeout. Milwaukee's been striking out quite a bit recently, but it's Severino, and you got to go 6 for plus money, and it's very short plus money. So it's almost like, yeah, do I want to be invested in this, or do I just want to watch a ton of football today? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just go back to NFL Pro and just start watching games and just like, what are these teams doing? You know, because you kind of want to watch and see. Did you get an idea of who these guys are? You know, when you watch instead of box score check. You know, also too, you don't really the box scores don't really account for like the penalty plays. I think that you're missing so many of them whenever you're like, all right, this guy only got targeted 4 times. It's like, actually, he got targeted 7 times. But
yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Like that's a big difference. That changes everything. So,
Amari Cooper had a 80-yard touchdown called back from a phantom holding call. That changes. The 80-yard touchdown changes everything.
Yep, exactly. So I feel like that's a good thing to do, is to kind of keep an eye on those. So I'll probably watch a bunch of NFL games and then keep an eye on Major League Baseball. Watch it as a purist, because dude, have you seen the totals? Like 6.5.
6, yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Man. It's the exact opposite kind of baseball I want to watch, because the books actually price it like that too, like for your strikeouts. So you can't even really go strikeouts. But I know you probably have something, because you probably dive into sides and totals and then start looking for props that way, whereas I'm just straight up props. So you got anything?
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm just waiting for you to be like, no, I have nothing, dude.
Well, no, I don't have sides and totals. I'm not a sides and totals guy, even in the playoffs. But I do have some stuff. So I agree with you that home runs is not the way to go for the playoffs. I do think that you left out a pitcher who is a bet on home run guy. It's Freddie Peralta.
Okay.
Freddie Peralta, he loves giving up home runs in Milwaukee. Big dinger guy. Milwaukee is a hitter's park. So what I ended up doing is I just sprayed the board with Mets batters against Peralta, and I put a quarter unit on 3. So if we go for 3, we're down 0.75. No problem. That's fine. We can handle that. But if we hit 1, then we're making money. That's the beauty of dingers.
Yep.
So I went with Mark Vientos. I went with Francisco Lindor, because, I mean, you got to include Lindor. Any self-respecting dinger better has to have Lindor. And I also took Brandon Nimmo, who's quietly been raking a little bit recently. So those are the 3 dinger guys. Again, quarter unit each. You're getting decent odds: 450 for Vientos, 425 for Lindor, 650. That's very juicy for Nimmo. And there was a strikeout over that I liked. Framber Valdez I think is solid. 7 plus. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
7 plus.
Yeah.
Plus 110 at DraftKings. It's all because of the Tigers. I mean, like, he's only gone against them once this year, and he went under, but like, that's one matchup. I'm not going to make any decisions off of that. The Tigers have the 7th highest strikeout rate on the year against lefties, but look at the last 30 days, over 30% strikeout rate against lefties in the last 30 and the last 15. That's the 2nd highest in the entire MLB. And they have a bunch of guys that are strikeout guys against lefties. So I think Framber's solid. If you're looking for a strikeout prop, I think Framber's solid. And I know we're not an under show. If we were to be an under show, Corbin Burns under 4.5 strikeouts against the Royals, because they just never strike out. They're the opposite. Yeah. So under plus 132 for under 4.5, I think is solid. So that's where I went for the MLB today.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna look into Detroit and try to find a way to bet Barry, but I don't even know if we're gonna see him, just because Framber.
It's a lefty.
Yeah.
That
started off the day, because that was the first game I looked at. That started off bad when I saw Framber. I was like, fuck, dude. Like,
Framber versus Skubal, yeah.
Like, damn, dude. Like, what's going on? So, and then maybe Bobby Witt in the second game. Then I was like, Burns. I was like, I don't love that. You know what I mean? I just don't. I hate sitting down for a game that, like, you just don't love. Big love guy. You know what I mean? I'm full of love.
I am.
And I want to love something. And if I love it and it goes south, I'm fine with it. If I didn't love it and it doesn't work, then I'm like, what was I doing? It's like a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I love it, man. It's like, don't go down the road when you're like, dude, I know I don't really like this. Like, well, what are you doing, dude? So then we go to the Mets. I mean, if you want to have a Jackson in this thing, that's good. But I don't know. I'm more on the NFL Jacksons now. There's only one of them, but he was the last one I want to bet on. So yeah, and then maybe Jackson Merrill later once we find out who's for the Braves. But
that's the thing. You don't know who's pitching.
Maybe do a couple Jacksons just for the night game. That way, if it doesn't happen, you just go to bed and wake up and you're one day closer to football. But I can watch all these games, though. I can watch every one of them with no
100%.
money on it. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can do that, then the hell do I care? But yeah, maybe I'll look into those Mets. Freddie's a decent pitcher, though. He's one of those guys that can just mow people down. And the next thing you know, you're like, damn it, it wasn't a Freddie day. So I kind of like your strategy there of just throwing out 3 different ones and seeing what happens. You know what I mean? Like you can't hurt yourself being down a quarter or 3 quarters per unit.
Exactly.
That's not hurt. That's whatever.
That's fine. Yeah, we can suffer through that.
How do you think about that? Like I always go under a unit. I think we said this yesterday. Under a unit, I'm like, yeah, I won today. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't really, because I didn't get hurt. Because I know that my good days are gonna be better than that. Most.
Yeah, especially. On a day like today, it's a little different. But on NFL Sundays, if it's down less than a unit, like you probably risked a lot on an NFL Sunday.
Yeah.
And if your only losses to show for it is less than a unit, I mean, your ROI is like, I don't know, like probably like less than 1% negative, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, nothing happened is what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, you're not losing your ass on being down less than a unit. Yeah. Although if you have it like you yesterday up $32, I'm telling people I made money.
Yeah. No, I won.
That's a day in the green. Yeah,
I 100% won.
Yeah.
Maybe do we do hits allowed? Maybe.
Yeah. I kind of disagree a little bit. I think strikeouts are still a way to go in the playoffs. The concern is like they'll pull a pitcher like that. I mean, like if he just even like takes a wrong breath, that guy's going out and it's a bullpen game.
Yeah, that's why you want to look at that guy that's kind of questionable, doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. You know what I mean? Because like he will be gone.
Yeah.
Luis Garcia, I got a few years ago when the Red Sox were good. I remember he was pitching against them, and I was like, dude, they're gonna hit him. I know they're gonna hit him, and they did. That's what happened. So he took us under in strikeouts, and I was never worried. And I was like, that's the way. But I was kind of wanting the Red Sox to win, so it was like, do you know what I mean? Like that was kind of where that bet came from. Like I was happy to watch that under. Whereas, like now, I'm not really happy to watch an under. Unless the guy's strikeouts over.
Right. And then you're happy for a game under.
Yeah. It just ruined my brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that was helpful to anyone, but probably not. But NBA's coming, and with the NFL in full swing, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the NBA and kind of forget that the NBA is coming, because we will, by the time, I want to say January-ish, we will be very into the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
I always said the NBA starts on Christmas Day for me. That's when it started for a long time. But if you have a brain and can look at a calendar, you know NBA started months before that. So there's money to be made in the NBA very early in the season. It's just the books adjust so fast, to rotations, like new rotations. So it kind of helps if you know a rotation. So the first question I'll ask you is, do you even watch preseason?
No, I don't watch preseason. I'll try to. The beginning of the NBA, I always start light. Like I think the first maybe 7 to 10 days on my average bet size was a half unit as opposed to a full unit. I'm a full unit guy with my NBA player props, except for the beginning of the year. The only thing that I really try to target at the beginning of the year is if you're like very confident a situation is going to be different than the year prior. Like one thing that I had success on are these like young guards that didn't really shoot much the previous year, betting them to make 2+ threes at the beginning of the year. Like SGA was a guy, he was like plus 300 for 2+ threes. It was Benedict Mathurin. It was all these young guards that don't really shoot that much that you're maybe thinking like, okay, maybe they're taking a leap with their jump shot. Cause like, it kind of just happens. You know what I mean? Like from year to year, next thing you know, they're just like, oh, this guy's like a quality shooter now.
That does make sense. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to watch the preseason this year.
Good for you.
I'm going to watch, because what you're looking for is roles. Because all right, so football, just how we talked about Jackson Smith and Jigba last night. He's a reception guy. Dude, football does have roles, but I mean, whatever. basketball is very, very much a role game. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one where if you can spot a young guard, like you just said, and I'm saying the same thing you are, just in a different way, I guess. If you can spot like in the preseason SGAs, you're like, dude, did he just take another three? You know, because if you watched him last year, it's like he really didn't shoot that many threes. It was like, again, you can't watch the box score. Watch the game, and you'll realize, like, oh, he only took that later, or he took that. It was situational almost. Whereas now he'll like pop one in the first quarter. You're like, wait a minute, is that part of his game? Does he want it? You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, when did it come? You know what I'm saying? Like, when? Because then, if you notice that they don't play as much in the preseason, so it's not going to be reflected totally in the numbers. You got to kind of watch, you know what I mean? Also, too, you can notice guys that are obviously a coach's favorite, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? They obviously want this guy to get going. If he's different from last year, then again, just to your point, it's different. And it's not going to be reflected in the line early in the game. But you got to be willing to go to bed with egg on your face, because you are going to call some of these wrong.
100%.
That's part of the problem. You are going to call someone wrong. That's why you got to ladder them. That way, the ones you get right are going to
get very right.
Paid for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you 100%. Get it wrong, it's going to cost you literally the same amount it would if you would have had it, you know what I'm saying, like would have not laddered.
Yeah. I think for the beginning of the year, there are like certain situations where you should just essentially ignore what happened the previous year. Like new head coach.
Yeah,
like the Wizards.
Watch the preseason, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
with the new coach,
the Wizards, they were like a horrible rebounding team. Like any center rebound prop that you want to take against the Wizards, because they're going to play fast, they're going to shoot a ton around the rim, and they're going to miss a lot, which means a ton of center rebound props. Well, I mean, they have a different coach. Like, are they going to run as fast? Are they going to play defense differently? Like, they were not a team that gave up a lot of threes last year, but they were a team that gave up a lot around the rim. So, okay. You look at I mean, last year there was a ton of Wizards props that I targeted. This year, like I'm staying away for the first couple games because I just want to know what they're playing. And then there are other situations like the Bucks, like the Celtics. I would target guard 3-point props against them because they play this drop coverage on defense. Like if you look, and this is a website that I'll shout out. I mean, the NBA.com advanced stats is phenomenal. The best advanced stats of any league website. NFL.com is useless. MLB.com is useless. NBA.com is phenomenal. They'll tell you how many 3-pointers a team gives up and where they give them up. Is it catch and shoot? Is it above the break? Is it pull up? Like I get really into like the specifics for the NBA, and the Celtics and the Bucks are a point guard 3-point prop team, because when you run a 3-point or you want to pick and roll against them, they drop the center in terms of like the pick and roll drop coverage, and they pull up from 3. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. That's again, that goes into watching it. So you figure out a way to look at like a nerd site. No offense, but or you got watch it. Again, it's going to get you to the same place, but it's going to. I don't know. I think you could do either or and be fine, but I think if you did both, you're gonna pick up on what you just saw. You're gonna be like, dude, I've seen this guy play so much that whenever he does go against the Bucks, you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of a point guard off the top of my head, but you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get one.
Jalen Brunson. Look at his stats against the Bucks last year. He cooked them. It's because they play this drop coverage. And the reason why I brought that up, sorry to interrupt you, is because same coaching staff. You know, everybody's there on the Bucks. Everybody's there on the Celtics. So game 1, target point guard 3-point props against those two teams.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm trying to say is like, hopefully you're getting a point guard who is like you just said, like maybe he is shooting a little bit more in the preseason, you know what I mean? And like maybe his total is going to be 1.5 at plus 120. You could take him for 4 at like of enormous price and take 2. So you're probably going to get your 2. That's probably going to pay for your shot downfield. It's kind of how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like if he only hits 2, you lose your 4 plus, but you won money anyways. And now you move on to the next day, just that you grind.
To give some examples, I'm looking at my NBA bets from last year. The first game of the year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was plus 360 to make 2 3-pointers. Plus 360. Benedict Mathurin, plus 240 to make 2 3-pointers. De'Aaron Fox plus 250. Like some of these prices are crazy to make 2 3-pointers.
How many they made that game?
All those cashed.
I know, but I know that cash with 2.
That I don't know. I just know like I'm looking at it 1 lost and those 1.
Because think about what 3 would have been.
Oh, 800.
Now do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets to, I mean, NBA is my favorite for Friday nights because I get to watch all of them. I just get the package.
I have it. Yeah,
expensive. Like
I have League Pass.
It's definitely affordable, like, which is cool. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit here and be like, hey, I'm rich, man. I got the NFL. I got the, but like, dude, get the NBA one. The NBA one is a throwaway. In terms of like, I think you can kind of figure it out like money wise with NBA because you can pay by month too if you want to. Do you know what I mean? But then you can just watch these games, and on Friday nights, it's just so awesome to have some wild lotto going, you know, because everybody's playing and stuff. And like, anytime you got a 3+3s for like plus 500, that is in the beginning of the season that you have. Those are cashable. The other way you get that is later on when like something breaks your way. Does that make sense? So your expectation's a lot different when you're sitting down on that night. You know, it's like, cool, man, here it is. I got everybody playing because they don't play every night, like every team. I think it's Wednesdays and Fridays probably you'll get everybody, but then like the weekend's kind of broken up, and early on the season there's football, so it's tough for basketball. I can't really get into it. And then Tuesday, Thursday is definitely not everybody. So there's only certain nights where you got all of them going. And to know off the top of your head that SGA is probably going to take 5 threes tonight, and 3+3s is at plus 600. You only need a couple of those.
Yeah.
And now you're dude. You're going to have like a great night.
Yeah. Especially at the beginning of the year. I think another thing for the NBA specifically isn't this is for the entire season, but it's injury news. Like the NBA, it's like you wake up every morning, you're like, who's playing tonight?
Yeah,
who the hell's
all
playing?
Injury. Yep.
And then you have certain systems that when X player is out, we target Y. So like last year, my example, when LeBron was out, D'Angelo Russell assist was never correctly priced. Never. Yep. And his assists would go up by like 4 on average per game. And they priced like, so I would take him double. It'd be like plus 800. And he would average over 10 assists in games when LeBron missed. It was crazy. And they never caught up. So there are certain situations where like, okay, if this player's out, then we need to know how to target it. And I don't like that stuff's going to happen as the season goes on. Like I don't know that right now, but again, there's certain injury situations. Yeah.
So Underdog on Twitter is how I keep the notifications on, and then you just look throughout the day.
And there's and they have a website, Underdog NBA, that'll list each injury situation. They literally go team by team and tell you the injury situation, so you'll know. And then,
do you have any other sites?
Yeah. So in relation to that, there are a couple different sites. You want to look at on-off numbers. It's like, okay, if this player misses, like, what do the numbers say? You know what I mean? Roto Grinders has that. Roto Wire has that.
I don't know what that means.
On-off. So like, how does this player perform when this other player's off the court? So like if you look at
okay. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell equals on, LeBron James equals off, you would see that D'Angelo Russell assists skyrockets.
Yeah.
And then so you look at situations
do that
like that
with the injuries. Now, are those free tools?
Roto Wire on-off numbers I think those are all free. Roto Grinders and Roto Wire, I believe, are both free.
Okay.
So that's what you can use for on-off. Yeah. And then this was the case when James Harden was still on the Sixers. If he was out, Tyrese Maxey would cook. Like he was another one where the books just never priced him correctly.
Well, there's so much. Tommy G talks about it a lot, like with because he was a big DFS guy, and that's how like variance happens. Do you know what I mean? Like the books won't price in that variance like too high. You know what I'm saying? They can't, because like, trying to think of the example you used the other day, but it was right. You know what I mean? It was just like, dude, shit, I can't even remember. It was somebody that gives an NFL player, but it's like, you give it what's that?
I said it.
No, Tommy did.
Oh, okay.
You know, the Thunderdome, like it'll be priced in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it takes time for them to get up, and then even then it might. But the thing is, that's in NFL where they play every week, where this might just be Harden's out for tonight. Like he's coming back tomorrow. So they don't really get a chance to start pricing in those changes. So, that, to be honest with you, if you're a bettor and you want to pay attention to that kind of stuff, you do that. But if you don't, and if you can't imagine yourself paying attention to that, but you want to have those type of bets, that's when I would say pay someone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like have a service. Just make sure you know your guys doing it. Make sure you know your guys betting the games. And like I said, that's when it makes sense to have a capper. Do you know what I mean? Like in your back pocket, because because the NBA is very difficult for that.
Yeah, you have to be locked. You have to be
locked in, dude. And to be honest with you, a lot of guys aren't. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of guys pretend to be. And I think a lot of people like use trends in an incredibly dumb way. Like Kevin Durant has scored 30 points each game on Friday. Like that's a night game on like, you know what I mean? Like they use these qualifiers, which is like, that could not be less important.
Yeah. Well, Narrative Street kind of works in NBA too. Which
this guy hates this team.
Doesn't really go with trends. You know what I mean? Like a buck a trend. You know what I'm saying? So like, like you can't. Trends are probably the dumbest way to do it. Like I'll be honest with you, I'll never understand trends because it completely disregards opponent. Like completely. Like a lot of times, it's like, all right, well then, you look. Oh yeah, he last 5 games went 30 plus. He also played the same team twice, and then all 5 teams are like top 8 in pace.
Yeah, or like
and two of those times, a guy like Steph Curry was, or I'm sorry, he wasn't really on the Warriors last year, but it would have been like back in those days. You know, like some other score is off the floor. You know what I'm saying? There's no Devin Booker tonight. Well, okay, against teams that want to run and gun with no Booker to competing with shots. Like of course. And then now Booker's back. Oh, but he did it last 5. You're like, dude, none of this matters, and he's playing like the slowest paced team in the NBA.
Yeah,
that they're gonna blow out. You know what I mean? You're just like, dude, none of this matters.
Yeah, or they'll use trends that go back so far, like like the Warriors are 13-3 against the spread. Well, it's like half this data is from when they had Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry. Like that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's not the same team. So you gotta watch trends.
Yeah, so like I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's this account on Twitter that will like here are like the top 10 trends for Thursday Night Football, and it'll be the dump. Like I never call people out on Twitter. I had to call out one guy because he was like, people like Devontae Smith only averages this amount when AJ Brown is out in his last 10 games. And I'm like, dude, 9 of those 10 games were from when he was a rookie and like the Eagles passing offense was different. Like you cannot tell people that data is relevant today. It's like, it's
dumb.
That.
It happens. And it's like, man, that sucks. Again, that's why you just listen to shows you trust.
Find people that are trustworthy.
It's not us, but it's like, listen to something that makes sense to you. You know what I mean? Or makes some sort of sense. Like, and if it does make sense to you and it's like completely irrelevant, then like kind of dig in a little bit and just like do some critical thinking. You know what I mean? Like,
there's some good.
You don't want to lose your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some good people out there. It's like, like 100%. There's some good, and there are also a lot of morons out there.
Yeah. All right. Any other sites you use?
Yeah. So this one is behind a paywall. It's called Courtside Pal. It's $10 a month. I could not recommend them enough because there are certain. So what I like about Courtside Pal is they don't group players by position. They group players by the way they score. So the best example I give is like, Steph Curry's a point guard. Colin Sexton's a point guard. So like, if you just look at, what teams give up the most points to point guards, you're going to look at Steph Curry and Colin Sexton, but it's like, they could not score any differently. Like Steph Curry scores behind the 3-point line. Obviously Colin Sexton doesn't shoot at all. Yeah. What I like about Courtside Pal is they group players in the way in which they score. So I think that's incredibly important because when you look at like this team gives up the most points to point guards. So it's like, okay, like how do they give them up?
Yeah, it'll stop you from going on Twitter and being like, fucking Sexton only got 10 points. This team gives up 30 a game to point guards. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
So and they group that by points, rebounds, and assists. So like where because Josh Hart has the same rebounding profile as a center. So if you want to look at like center rebound props, well, you should include Josh Hart in that because he rebounds the equivalent. I mean, that was last year. Who knows what this year is going to be like? But that's another example. Or like, how do certain players get assists? Is it on the pick and roll? Is it on like a drive and kick? I just think it's really, really helpful that they group all these players together.
100%. So if you find a team that gives up all these catch and shoot threes, right? They just give up a bunch of catch and shoot threes, and you find a guy who that's basically where his assists come from.
Exactly.
Well, you can take that guy over 3.5 now for plus money. You know what I mean? Because like it's just an opportunity. Whereas like if you get a team that doesn't give up the catch and shoot threes, like a lot of the threes come from, like I said, like the defense drop in or something like that. Well, that guy's not gonna have any assist. You know what I mean? Like, you just took a dumb bet.
Yeah, exactly. Or do the assists come from the pick and roll? You know, like lob threats. So you look at, okay, like, I mean, Trae Young does it both catch and shoot and lob, so he's not a good example. But like there are some guys that are only assist pick and roll lob threats, or only the like. So I think it's important to just go a little bit deeper. Yeah, to go a little bit deeper. Yeah, exactly. I also think, and sorry, I'm just kind of in the zone.
Just go, man. Just go. You're spitting.
Yeah, for the NBA, I don't look at season-long stats. I look at last 10 games. Because like stuff that happened in November could not be less relevant when you're looking at February and March, especially after the trade deadline. Yeah. So that's just like something to think about. Don't look at, this team gives up a ton of points to the point guard on the season. Well, okay, how do they look at the last 10 games, look at the last month, stuff like that.
That's again where the watching comes in. I know everyone doesn't have time to watch all these games, but like I like it, so I just watch it. You know what I mean? Like it's just fun to watch, and you notice stuff when you watch games when you're like, I don't know. Like I said, that just maybe can't be accounted for. I guess they can be accounted for if you're looking at the right sites. You know, which all the sites that we're talking about are in the description of this video. So you can definitely check it out. Like I'm definitely going to get Courtside Pal for the season. Like $10 a month feels like a pretty good deal, you know, because again, like if you want something quick, if you miss games the night before, you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty good at reading the play-by-play if I miss the game and pretending like I'll do like a mental simulation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so this is how that all happened.
Even though like I didn't see it, I'm really making up everything as I go. You know, if you watch them enough time, you're like, they did that shit again. You know what I mean? Like, because after a while, dude, you don't know how the same basketball is. Like when you watch it over, like you're like, dude, these dudes are doing the same shit over and over again, but it's just disguised and different. But at the same time, it's that they want to get him a 3 in the corner. You know what I mean? They're gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny. But and again, though, you got to watch a lot of it, and then like I said, you start picking up on like what they try to do. And then if you can find teams that just don't defend what that other team tries to do well, then you're gold. Well, the other thing you got to keep in mind too, though, all this is great, but if it's a blowout, you're fucked.
Yeah. Game script. Yeah.
Never forget that. You always want to make sure you're going to see a close game tonight. And I don't know how you can do that, but like I do a lot of things. Like how's the team playing? What do they look like? Do they look lethargic? Well, guess what? They're probably going to smoke tonight. So I don't care that they give up a lot of catch and shoot threes. Like I'm not touching them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I found a one market that like I didn't really look into until the very end of the year, but ended up being one of my best ROI markets. Is I don't know, and I don't know if you look at the first quarter props. I don't know if you're a first quarter prop guy.
Yeah, I was definitely in the playoffs. Anthony Edwards last year in the playoffs was funny.
Yep.
It was like, dude, this guy's probably going to take 10 shots in the first quarter, like, especially when they were down 2 games. You're like, there's no chance that they are going down without him scoring.
And he gets tired as the game goes on. Luka always cooked. Yeah, I mean, cooked in the first quarter. Then he would get tired as the game goes on. Kristaps Porzingis before he got hurt. There were certain guys that, or like, you know, this is also a thing with big men. Coaches just want to get big men the ball early to make them, to make sure that they're engaged on the defensive end. And like, this goes back to like when Kendrick Perkins was on the Celtics. They asked the head coach, Doc Rivers, like, why do you give him the first post touch of every single game? It's like, because we need him to play defense. So we like just reward him with like the first touch of the game. And that way he's like playing defense the rest of the game. So they were like Embiid first quarter, Porzingis first quarter, DeAndre Ayton first quarter, Valanciunas first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. All this stuff's helpful, man. I mean, you just need it. Like I said, I'm going to watch the preseason. That's been my thing. And then just, again, like you're not really, well, in the preseason too, you know what you find? Guys, like your guys that nobody knows. Like you find your guy because you know him when you see him. Like remember Cam Thomas from Brooklyn?
Oh yeah.
When somebody gets hurt, this kid is going to come in and drop 40 on you. Like that's going to happen. And it did. You know what I mean? But like, you have to know him because here's the thing. everybody's got a guy and everyone's going to have someone go down and some kid's going to play. You got to know you got to know which kid's which. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be some kid this year that drops 30 on somebody and his point total's like 10. You know, and again, that is a great ladder opportunity. But again, you don't just get it you don't just get it. You know what I'm saying? You have to know it when you see it, and you have to not be afraid to fire away on it. And you can't be firing away on all of them. You got to know, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do, you're going to ruin your ROI.
Yeah. And the hardest part is you have to know when to call your shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like the first thing I do when I wake up is I want to see who's playing, and I want to know, like, all right, what matchups are we targeting? There are like certain teams where I would know, okay, this team's playing. I'm like catch and shoot 3-pointers against this team, point guard assists against this team. You know what I mean? So I want to make a list of like, all right, who are we playing? And then who does that match up to? Because sometimes, like, you know, if the team, it's like this, you know, the Bulls give up a ton of catch and shoot 3-pointers. Well, if the team they're playing doesn't like play, if they're playing the Magic, like they're not a catch and shoot team. So that's not a matchup that you really want to target. Like you don't want to force it just for the sake of a bad matchup.
Yep, exactly. Everything has to line up, but you gotta know them. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much that's all I got. I wish we had specific things. Do you have anything specific that you could bet like now?
No, I mean, I would love to give something out, but I haven't looked. We're not futures guys. We're player props guys, and I'm definitely not a season long player prop guy because too much stuff.
God no, guy gets hurt. Your handicap is wasted.
Exactly. So yeah, I would. I wish I had something for the people, but I would just say my biggest helpful thing for the NBA was like I would just find buy low opportunities. Like, oh, this guy just went 2 of 10 from 3 and he's a really good shooter. He's probably going to go 5 of 7 the next game. Like find situations like that. That was the biggest helpful.
Hopefully you want to wait. You want to see what the sentiment on Twitter is. Hopefully it's negative and hopefully that line drops.
Yeah.
You know, so knowing odds and stuff like that helps too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess just line shop. I mean, like we're a price positive show, but yeah, I mean, just like if you can get plus 120 and it's plus 100 everywhere else, like that's just going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, that'll always help. That's where I don't know. I feel like this year is gonna be a really good NBA year for me personally, just because like I don't know the way I'm locked into football right now the same way, and it helped from baseball though. To be honest with you, the strategy of mixing in the parlays but not too crazy and then covering them up. I've been getting pretty good at that to where I always have a shot downfield. So I have that feeling, you know what I mean? I could become a thousandaire tonight.
You could.
And if that doesn't happen, I'm still looking at green because I covered it up properly.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna keep working on that. And I think I'm gonna put that into my NBA. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a really good year. It's gonna be fun though. I'm gonna watch a lot of basketball. I'm gonna bet a lot of basketball, and that's pretty much my goal.
Yeah,
like every season, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to have fun.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. That's going to do it for today. I'm trying to think. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we can dive into the Bucks Falcons. I've already watched both of their games from Sunday, and there are some edges that are probably around. Like the Falcons are probably overvalued from that win.
Yeah, no business.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, line wise, I didn't see some of their ancillary parts released, as well as the Bucks. We don't know about Palmer yet, and we don't know what that's going to do to Sterling Shepard, who I didn't even know was on that team.
Yeah,
so there's that. But so we'll try to figure out. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have some odds. I don't know because Bijan apparently is hurt. I think they're lying. I don't think he's hurt. I think he's playing, but that's just another injury game. Maybe we talk some of that. So we'll get started on that. Obviously, Thursday's show, we'll have Thursday Night Football, over and over and over. We'll hopefully have all our bets by then. But like I said, hopefully have some by tomorrow. But if you're not following Matt already, go to @JediModi on Twitter and follow him right now. He is very, very sharp gentleman, has a great Twitter account. He it's like he's a traffic director for all the stuff because there's YouTube videos, there's Newsweek articles, there's all kinds of stuff. So if you follow him on Twitter, you won't miss any of that. Just like me @SlopRules on Twitter. If you're not following me already, do that because I do the same thing. It's probably how you found this video, which you can like and subscribe to if you're on YouTube right now. If you're on Spotify and Apple, that's awesome. Make sure you subscribe, throw 5 stars to us. It helps us fight that algorithm that we're still trying to fight. And that's going to do it, man. I'll see all of you. I believe we're at 3 o'clock today on this channel, going with the tools at OddsJam to see if there's something to bet tonight. Probably going to be a slow day. Oh, my bad. I'm getting told now it's at 4. That's good. We were doing 3. We're doing 4. Again, that's why you have the notifications on. That's why you subscribe. You'll never miss it. Till then, I'll see you later.